Hello everyone and welcome back to the Virtual Poker League powered by #Poker presented by Poker Sports League. My name is Himani Singh and I am back with the second sit and go match of the day. If you're joining us now, then let me tell you, Virtual Poker League powered by #Poker presented by Poker Sports League is first of its kind exhibition poker league where top 30 maestros from all across India are coming together to make someone else's dream come true. As the winnings from this league will directly go to our charity partners United Way Chennai, Super School India and Association for Sustainable Community Development. So you see, this time it's all about going all in for charity. So let's get started then. Well, I'm here with Sriram and Raj to take you through the lineup of the second match, and here it comes. On seat number 1, we have Sri Harsha Dodapaneni from Delhi Zaz. On seat number 2, we have Rajat Sharma from Deccan Aces. On seat number 3, we have Ashish Ahuja from Chennai Troopers. On seat number 4, we have Mahima Walia Das from Gujarat Falcons. On seat number 5, we have Hani Bijlani from Mumbai Anchors. And finally, on seat number 6, we have Dhaval Mudgal from Goa Nuts. So, those are the players. Now, let's hear it from the experts. What's your take on this lineup?
Seat number 1, absolute beast, Sri Harsha. Delhi team, a lot of people, including my co-commentator Raj.
Right.
They're the favorites.
Of course.
One of the reasons is Sri Harsha. This guy is an absolute machine.
Yeah.
He's one of the few players, or one of the first players in India to master the GTO style of play in poker. So the Delhi Stars cannot ask for a better person to kick them off in this particular sit and go.
Well, looks like Delhi is going to have a great start. Moving on, we have the next player. So, Raj.
Well, Rajat Sharma is a signature poker player with his white hair. You can't miss him on the tables. And the wonderful thing about him from the PSL in season 2, I believe, we had world-class players coming in. Martin Jacobson and the works, David
Right.
Lind. And in that season, Rajat Sharma was the player of the season.
Wow.
So I am actually expecting a great form from him as well in these formats. So this is someone to watch out for.
What do you think?
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, like he said, Rajat Sharma in an absolutely stacked season 2 of the PSL, he came out and played some of the best poker he's ever played, and he was crowned, like he said, the player of the series. So Rajat Sharma is not someone to be messed around with. The Deccan Aces are in good hands with Rajat Sharma.
In the next seat, we have Ashish Ahuja. Now, don't let his gentle giant demeanor fool you. He is a shark on the tables. And for his latest feat that we know is from the WSOP final table, where he had a really good cash. And apart from that, he's just been slaying it online and offline. So he would be one of my favorites on this match.
Interesting. Rocky, like you mentioned, absolute shark on the table. One of the most polite and nicest people you'll see off the table. And that counts for a lot. People sometimes get carried away with this game because
Right.
it's got, there's so many angles to it. It's competitive. But you got to be a nice person at the end of it.
absolutely.
And Rocky, as he's known, is definitely one of the nicest guys around there. And he's got game.
Because he is like a rock, stable, not
Yeah.
like Sylvester Rocky. Don't expect six-pack, just saying.
Well, we're talking about stability here. Well, looks like that all our teams are going to have a great start. So far, at least, that's what we have assumed and are getting to see. Moving on, coming to the next player.
Yeah, the woman on this sit and go is Mahima. And Mahima has been in great form. From what I know and from what I've seen, she's been on a tear of late in the MTT circuit. It's going to be very interesting for the other 5 boys to go up against Mahima.
I actually look forward to that. So the beauty about poker, it's the great equalizer. You talk about the glass ceiling and everything, you got the same chips and you prove your worth. So I'm actually looking forward to some action from the ladies and to show the boys how it's done.
Oh, well, that's what we will look forward to for sure.
Right, in seat 5, the Mumbai Anchors, who I picked as one of the favorites, it's got Hani Bijlani. Hani Bijlani, just like Mahima, is going to be coming off a big win in one of the online tournaments from last week. So expect some great play from Hani Bijlani. He might have something in store for the rest of them.
All right.
And about Honey, I gotta say, he's got something to do with the Chris Moneymaker effect because he entered the PSL as a rec learned his way up through the ropes. I believe Kanish Samant helped him through the ropes. And now look at him, he's doing phenomenally.
Yeah, an absolutely great story for Hani Bijlani coming into a world of poker with all these top players just as a recreational player, like you mentioned, Raj, and then being mentored by someone like Kanishka Samant who knows the game in and out.
Right.
And to be on this edition of the Virtual Poker League.
I think that's like a big achievement, I must say.
Huge.
In the last seat, we have one of our favorites, whether it's for the game or the personality, that's Dhawal Mudgal, Dhawal Dirty Mudgal. Now with a haircut, Swach Mudgal, so as to say.
Quite a popular name.
Absolutely. He was heading the Goan Nuts earlier,
Right,
and
yes.
they did pretty well under him. They shipped the series as well. And I still remember the chants and the energy that is there. So Dhawal, he's been active on the Vietnam and the live circuit as well, and he has shown pretty good results online and with PSL. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just comes from the back and surprises everyone with his loose aggressive style.
Yeah.
He's quite an entertainer as well.
Oh yeah.
Very entertaining character. If you're in the room and Dhawal is there somewhere around you, you'll know for sure.
You'll know for
He's
sure.
always having a good
Yeah.
time and making sure people around also have a good
Yes.
time. And poker-wise, he's been playing for a long time.
Yeah.
He knows a lot about this game that many of the younger players don't understand.
Right.
So Dhawal Mudgal, if he's on a table with 6 other players, you can know for sure he's one of the favorites to come out on top.
I will totally vouch for that. So thank you so much, guys, for the analysis of all the players sitting on this table. All right, so looks like all the players are ready. We are ready.
Absolutely,
Right?
yeah.
We are ready.
Absolutely.
So let's get started. What do you guys say?
Yep,
Yes,
let's do it.
yes, let's do it, guys. So let's go.
All in for charity.
10,
9,
8,
7,
6, 5, 4,
3,
2, 1. Shuffle up and deal.
And the sit and go is the way we're going with the first event in this particular VPL. So the first event being taken down by Smita Agarwala, and I'm telling you, not many people gave her a shot when she came in because this field was so stacked. She played great. What do you think, Sam?
It was a fantastic performance, start to finish. The great thing about how she played was she really picked her spots throughout the tournament, and then you could just, when it was heads up, it was like she just shifted gears relentlessly, and okay, maybe a bit fortunate to literally be on the winning side of two big flips, and then to take it down. Just I think brilliant first performance.
Yeah, great. I'm sorry to cut you off, Sam. Yeah, you were saying?
No, that's a brilliant first performance. A bit unlucky for Romit because he almost probably must have felt a bit robbed because he smashed it up really from the start, having
Right.
that great eights full against the ace of queen, and then driven him right through to the end and just fell at the last fence. So.
But if I remember right, Sam, it was you who willed on that suck out in the end for Romit. Romit's going to give you a call. You're going to hear about it from him.
I know. I needed to get a cup of tea, so I tried to cut it short at the end there.
Right. That being said, Sid Karia of the Goan Nuts was the first player to bust out in that first match, which means the Goan Nuts right now have nothing on the scoreboard. And that makes it that more interesting right now for Dhawal Mudgal, or Dirty as he's known, who's going to be representing the Goan Nuts in this second matchup, which is just about to begin. It's a stacked lineup in this second matchup too. We got Sri Harsha for the Delhi team, Rajat Sharma for Deccan, Ashish Ahuja, Mahima for Gujarat, Hani Bijlani, and Dirty, of course. So, you got anyone you're picking particularly among this lineup?
Well, I mean, I love Dirty, but I also love I feel bad that the Go Nuts have 0 points, but on the flip side, anything that puts Dirty under a bit of pressure, he's a perfect gentleman. He's got lovely hair. I mean, He's run fantastic, a beautiful voice. I mean, someone put him under press in a while, so it's great. It's great to see that he's not going to just go in and sweep the field. He's got some work to do. I don't know. I think it's going to be an open one.
Yeah,
So,
I'll have to agree with you on this. You know, it's there's the edges are so thin. You know, with these guys, and the one woman who's there for the Gujarat Falcons, Mahima, and she's been on a tear actually in the MTD circuit too. It's going to be interesting, right? We kick things off. Those of you who just tuned in, 30,000 the starting stack, 50 and 100 the small and the big blinds. And I believe Mahima is just folded under the gun. Actions on Hani Bijlani of the Mumbai Anchors.
first hand, Deval's got to raise us up. It doesn't matter what he's got.
Right, I'm just trying to pick up on the table banter, Sam. I'm not able to hear what the six players have to say. Let's just see if we can get their banter in. I'm not sure if I got this on mute. Is Dirty in the tank the very first hand when two people are folded to him?
Has it started? No, it didn't.
Right, so Sam, I believe some of them have been timed out, so that's what's happening. I don't think they're tanking.
Okay. So I told you it's the curse of Dirty, isn't it? He comes on there, any tricks he can do, he's making them all time out and fold. You know, anything to get an edge in this game.
And it was interesting too, because right when they were all seated just before the action has begun, there were five of them who were saying Dirty is the guy who's been messing up the action. You know, they were saying it's because of Dirty that some people's webcams are not working, someone's sound is not working, and they were
Of course, I blame him.
Yeah, you guys are blaming him for everything. What's this about, Sam?
Yeah, there's an issue.
Yeah, I blame him for COVID as well. Let's pin that up on him while we're at it as well. But
Yeah, but no one else knows. It was just me.
Right.
yeah, I mean, well, Ashish wins the first hand at least.
Yeah, Ashish gets a walk the
Folded
very first
round.
hand. Rocky, as he's known more fondly in the online world, Rocky 3705.
All the video feeds.
It's hard to bet against Rocky, you know. His game is so solid,
Hello?
and
Okay.
it's somebody that, you know, who's always got people rooting for him because one, he's a good player, and two, he's such a nice guy. I'm sure you've interacted with Ashish too before.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I mean, well, there you go. Look, they all folded to the first hand. They said it's Rocky. Let's fold it out, guys. Rocky's there. Rocky's in the big blind. Let him be. Okay.
Right, viewers, just hang in there. We're just going to get. I'm sure the viewers can see the whole cards and you can hear what Sam and myself are talking about. But we're just going to get the players in on the action soon. That being said, we had a contest running, Sam, in that first match. We had asked a question who viewers would think the first bust out would be from that match. And Sid Curry of the Goan Nuts was unfortunate to bust out first because I thought he played great. He made some good folds.
Yeah, it started for me
Just
also.
ran into hands, you know, at the wrong time. And the winner of the contest is Anuj Ladhad. I hope I'm saying this right. Anuj Ladhad, ANUJ LADDHAD. So Anuj, congrats on winning the contest. Look forward to some goodies coming your way. I'm sure we'll run that info on the ticker. There it is. Anuj, you can, and the viewers, you can see the winner of the contest. It's on the ticker below in your screens. Right, Sam. So
Nice.
Any of these players from this lineup that that you know personally, and or maybe you know more of them through their game and not as much personally? Anything specific you want to pick out from this lineup?
Yeah, I definitely know Daval quite well. I've known him for quite a few years on the circuit when I was out playing in Asia.
Right.
I think I've commentated on Rajath Sharma's play in other events, and I know
That's okay though.
I think I might have played with Honey, if not played. I think we've conversed quite a bit online as well. So
Okay.
Right.
yeah.
So interesting
Um,
because sorry to cut you off, Sam. So like you said, Rajat, I think you might have called his action from the previous season of the PSL.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and the crazy
Okay, I'm also
part was Rajat was actually the player of the series in the second season of the PSL. So out of all that talent that was there, Rajat Sharma was the guy who actually won that award. So he's here to play.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's here to
I
play.
find it odd.
Excellent.
I don't think there's a time
Yeah.
bank though.
Right.
Well,
The
I
action's
think
back, right?
every
The players
turn
are
you have
in.
40 seconds.
The banter has started. I can hear Dirty already.
Oh,
Yeah, no, Harsha.
I opened the table, take my seat, it's still loaded. Wait.
Honey, Dhawan and Harsha are sitting out. Even Mahima and Harsha are sitting out. Even
Like 400 GB, no, to start with. Just continue.
you're giving us a head start. You're giving us a head start.
It's like negligible, sir.
I think I'm connected.
Okay.
I'm still in loading page. I don't know why. I think it's refreshed.
Right, I think Rocky
Yeah, I think everyone is here.
Ashish Ahuja took down that first pot.
Rajat was
now
a
I'm here.
bit unlucky to have floated with the ace-8
Right.
because he spiked an ace on the turn. And
The audio is
unfortunately, it
really
wasn't
bad.
good. That's the
audio is
danger
really
sometimes of floating with those hands. But what can you do?
Yeah, not much you can do. And immediately after winning that pot from the small blind, Rocky's raised it up. He's got ace-10 of spades. And Honey with a very defendable hand and he's got... I beg your pardon. Has Honey opened this up? And Rocky defends?
No, Ashish opened from the. Oh,
This is interesting. But anyway,
yeah.
we're a bit confused, but nonetheless, 6-4-9, two spades is the board.
Yeah.
Rocky
this is
leads out, and Honey with the raise.
yeah, that's a strange raise, I think. Bottom pair, but it might get him to the river for cheap because Ashish, although the king is a good card to represent, but yeah, it looks like Honey's gonna take this down. It would be nice to. It would actually be nice, given the texture of this board, for him to check to try and actually catch a bluff on the end here. Having said that, Ashish has a lot of showdown value too, so probably won't try and bluff at it.
Right.
Wow.
Right, I think the action, the way it went, I do believe Honey was first to act post-flop as opposed to what we saw on our screens, and I believe Rocky would have been on the button in that hand, so viewers, nothing to get confused there. The button was Rocky, and the button right now is Mahima.
King 5 of diamonds, questionable, open, but wow. two flush draws in a row for two openers. Having said that, C-bet will probably take this down. I can't see Honey peeling one off with the ace high from the small. He might have tried to see a turn from the big blind, and so Deval's probably just going to give this up too.
Right. So Rajat Sharma losing a pot initially to Ashish, and then immediately taking down another pot, picked up some chips.
Yeah, I would have to call my chips.
Yeah.
आउटपुट में हेडफोन आउटपुट में हेडफोन है
Peace for everyone.
Yeah, peace for everyone. And
Headphones nahi hai. It's external microphone, MacBook
it's
microphone,
interesting. You know, there's loads of people you'll speak to in the poker community, and one player they all respect. You know, is Sri Harsha. He's representing the Delhi team. He's very on point with all the numbers and the math. His GTO is pretty much on point, and he's played some huge tournaments. He's been in some huge spots. So one player who's not going to be feeling much of that pressure is Sri Harsha. He brings his A game every day, every night. Going to be interesting to see how the others adapt to his style of play.
Yeah, and he's with the Delhi Panthers, did you say?
Yeah, the Delhi SARS, as they're called this time.
The Delhi SARS, sorry,
Delhi
yes. Of
SARS.
course,
Yeah, the Delhi Panthers previously. The Delhi's got a very good-looking team. A lot of them have picked them to win it all.
Oh, okay, yeah. And
Yeah.
they've picked up a few points in the first event, coming fourth, right?
Yeah, they picked up some points in that first event too.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's a premium hand.
Let's go. We saw so many ace queens and tens in the first matchup. We're back to the tens and the ace queens, and here we go. Open from Honey and snap 3-bet from Double.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's no other option but to flat with this pre-flop from Honey's perspective, given that it is the first level and they're playing 300 big blinds deep.
Right.
Wow, that's a flop. It's certainly Honey's not going to fold for a C-bet on the flop.
Yeah, and
Gonna
certainly.
see how it.
Yeah, and certainly Double's going to fire the C-bet. Here you go again. You know the small C-bet that we were speaking about, Sam.
Yeah, very small. I mean, I do like to, in Deval's spot, I would like to go a bit bigger here because you've got so much equity in either case, and you can just really continue barreling and put a lot of pressure on. And now that this is the first time we've seen it from the whole of that first six max, is actually seeing a raise of that small C bet. So it'd be interesting to see how Deval goes. He could go either way. He could try and click it back and take control again, or he's certainly not folding because he's drawing to the nuts.
Echo's gone.
Right.
Yeah, that buzzing sound is there.
Yeah. I think that's what Ashish is speaking about.
Yeah, this is a tough one for Honey because
Echo is not there. No,
the play doesn't make a lot of sense if he tries to continue on the turn, representing.
manage only.
You'd have to be actually representing a flush or a set.
Yeah.
Because when the king comes, Deval can quite easily have ace
That's what you
king
can manage.
with the king of spades
Right. The king hits Double's range pretty hard, and exactly
No,
what you
but
called.
bluff
He's
means
gone
stand
for a
only.
bet.
No bluff. I am in it.
60% of the pot, just under 60%
solid
of the
only.
pot. And Honey's in a spot. It's the second time he's actually check raising, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does.
Yeah, he's definitely in a spot here. Deval also has has the assurance of the ace of spades in his hand that he can also represent a made flush, I guess.
Honey's playing every hand.
Because he certainly wasn't betting the value on the turn, and I mean, I suppose he's probably thinking he's managing to fold out any Jack X, I suppose, there.
Did we all? Did we all set out in the start?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I think
Right, the banter's in full swing, Sam. So I'm gonna just let these guys talk it out. Let's hear what these guys are saying.
He wasn't showing me the bet for like 5 minutes.
Oh.
Too pretty looking a hand to get timed out.
Tight hold.
Important spade I had.
Right, so Rajat Sharma taking down that one. Sam, are you able to see the action clearly on your screen? Just to check.
Yeah, I can see the action there. That was quite a big 3-bet there, but got the
Got the job done. And
Yeah.
it's also interesting because when he did open the previous time, he went 3x as opposed to 2x, as is the norm I see in
Yeah.
MTTs these days and Tony's online. So,
Hmm.
so here we go. Blinds have gone up. Blinds are at 200, 400. And Hani Bijlani can't stay away from the action. He's got ace-king suited.
Yeah. That's a pretty decent flop for him. He'll get some action from the king 7. He may even have Nahima tagging along with that gut shot to the nuts, depending on how much he continues for. I don't think either player are going to be folding to that size bet.
100 with his pot.
Slightly unfortunate for Honey, although it is a card that sort of locks up his hand. Any draws are now basically drawing dead. So I would always opt to check this behind, because there isn't really any card that can come that you can lose the hand.
Right.
If I'm Honey now, if it's check, what I'll tend to do here is go for quite a very big bet, only because there's a good chance someone does have a random king, and maybe they might just consider, okay, I'll let it go, because you'd probably hear from the quads on the end from these two players. So I probably would have gone for something like 6-7k, just because nothing else is going to call you, and you might just get a crazy fold from, well, that sort of hand, king 7,
Right. All right, so unfortunate for Honey there that he couldn't actually take down hold of the pot, had to chop it with Rocky. Back to the action, pocket fours for Sriharsha, and Rajat Sharma, ace-queen suited, has got position on him.
It's going to be interesting because he's clearly going to free bet again, and if this trend continues, although we can see he does actually have the goods and he has had it both times, Sriharsha might start fighting back with these hands. This is a clear call or fold here.
Well, the flop rolls out queen deuce 6, so we know Sriharsha is going to get away from this hand pretty much on any bet from Rajat.
Yeah, if we see the trend of small C bets, although I don't think we'll see it here, I think we'll go closer to half pot, then he may stick around for one bet, but
There we go, you're right. So he does make the call, and you were right, Sam. When he goes a little small, you could see Sriharsha sticking around. And guess what? Yeah. That's an interesting card because it gives some more equity to Sriharsha, but also loads up that board for Rajat Sharma.
That's a brilliant. This is the danger when you just peel off one, thinking, okay, my opponent could have ace king, ace jack. Maybe I'll get to the showdown cheap. Then you suddenly pick up those extra outs. It becomes tempting to continue. So this is a tough one because this is really a fold or
get funky.
Decision spot. Fold or all in.
Fold or get funky, as I like to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you have liked to see a check back from Rajat Sharma? Well, here we go. He's made the call.
Yeah, I was going to say if he does choose to call, it means he genuinely believes there's a good chance he still has the best hand.
Right.
Rajat in this spot should definitely go for maximum value. There's too much in the pot. At this point, I'll be putting on Sriharsha on king queen, queen jack, and just hoping to get maximum value. Yeah, I think in either case, once Rajat bets again on the river, Sriharsha might have been thinking he's double barreling. Once he bets again on the river, even if he bet 5 or 6k, I still think even getting 4-1, Sriharsha would have been like, okay, Okay. I believe you. You've got it. You've got it.
Yeah, let's pack it in, and that's exactly what happened. Sriharsha did pack it in, so he didn't believe him on the first two streets. So
Yeah. Pocket pairs, the small pairs are haunting his game, I think, at the moment, because he's now got fives. Problem when it comes 10-3-4.
that's a great board for Sriharsha. You know, in the
I
big,
can fold it.
all those cards pretty much hitting him harder than
Obviously, you know
Initial
better.
Razor.
Yeah, of course. And I think much like the last hand, I think he's obviously going to continue here flat. And
Yeah. So now he's
good turn as well.
yeah, great turn.
I mean, I'm always tempted to just sort of give up in this spot with ace 10. Ace 9, I might be more inclined to continue.
Right.
To continue barreling.
Right.
I
They're
don't
not.
see. That's interesting.
Here we go. So yeah, Sriharsha, it was about time he got funky, and let's go. He's got funky, and like you said, ace 10, more inclined to check back on that board, which is quite draw heavy. Not going to get too many folds from the big blind when the action went like it did. And Sriharsha recovering some of the chips he lost to Rajat Sharma in a couple of hands back.
Yeah, nice play.
There's no answer.
This is probably big raise or fold.
No ante.
Oh,
Ooh, let's go.
I thought Dirty was going to start getting fruity there with the ace 5, having not played a hand for a while. But Jacks 2,800, 2-6, 2-4.
Honey game like
Yeah, it's easy to fill these sorts of hands, but yeah, if you've got the discipline to open fold, then
this is nice.
Yeah, more often than not, it's going to go check, bet, fold, but he decides to check behind the delayed c-bet option, probably from Sriharsha.
yeah, looks like it. I mean, he'll be fairly confident he's got the best hand here, and there's really no need for peeling the king high on the turn there.
Right, so one thing that we notice with the action that we've seen so far, very busy, all of these players. They're, they know the blind levels catch up pretty quick. They want to set the tone early. They want to take control of pots early.
I think the next blind level is third.
Yeah, that's what I was. We saw that in the first, in the early stages of the first sit and go with the Sumit. Was it Sumit Sapra?
Right.
I still remember that King 9 hand.
Right.
I don't know why I always expect lots of action from Deval, but I guess it's we can see his cards. He's got, absolute garbage. So, yeah, as the blinds climb up, we're going to see a lot more action taking place. That's for sure.
Right, there we see the raise from Ashish Ahuja from this small, and the 3-bet from Mahima. So she's not going to back down from anybody. She's been on a tear, I repeat. So she's not afraid to tango with any of these boys.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
All right, Rajat Sharma with the raise. He's got 10 jack off, 7-5. The defend from dirty. He's got a 5 of diamond.
I was just wondering if we'll see him peel off a cheeky card with the 5 high flush draw. I don't think so. 1300 would be a good sizing. Yeah, I don't like that. On these sort of draw heavy boards, let your opponent pay the price if they want to get really frisky.
Right. So exactly that, you called it. The bet was 1200, and he took it down, monotone the board. Another thing that strikes me about this particular table, Sam, is that people are a little less chatty.
Oh, really? Are they?
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody looks zoned in, if you'd ask me. I've got the pictures in front of me, and I'm sure the viewers can see it.
We should send them round some beers, get some shots out there. I do think. Yeah. Oh, look at this double. There's a gut shot to the low straight for Shahasha. There's a gut shot to the monster straight for Rajat, and Mahima has top pair, top kicker. This is where the danger of the small bet comes in, when you bet 800 and you invite everyone along.
Right.
Yeah, I think the banter will heat up once the stakes go up a bit more. Once a few, there's been a bit of, the action hasn't been so all over the place so far. I'm sure once a couple of big pots go down, that will get them going. Not quite sure what plan Shirasha has with this 3-4, and Rajat's in a tough spot because once he's been given the odds to peel off, he's kind of inclined to stay in there. If Shirasha's folded for that bet, I would probably just fold behind with the King 10 for that much.
Right.
Maybe Shirasha wanted to get it heads up and had some plans. If a spade came off, leading the turn, barreling the river. The jack coming on the turn has to scare Mahima a bit, so they'll probably both see a free card on the end. And I think if it was heads up, Shirasha could have maybe tried to bluff this, but it just stinks of missed draws. Not because we can see it, but it just. If he bets here, he's representing a jack, or literally nothing. There's nothing else that you can be representing. So I think he's representing something. And
he's not fooling around. Huge bet.
That's one way of if Mahima can find a call here, this would be exceptional. But it's one or the other. It's either
It's a very polarized overbet. He's either got nothing or he's got you pretty much. Right.
It's literally everything or nothing.
Yep. Wow, he's put on a spot.
I've got a feeling he might get called here. 3, 2, 1. No.
Wow.
That's crazy. He had some plans, like
it's a bluff.
to follow to make that move, given the action. It's that's good play.
Right, let's get sorry, Sam. These people are actually speaking about it. Let's just hear what they have to say about it. Okay. Okay, Sam, let's get back to this. I did hear Mahima asking Sriharsha, uh, what did you have?
Yeah, the flush draw.
And someone said it was a bluff. I'm not sure if it was Sriharsha. Just, Mahima is going to go back and watch this on the stream. That being said, Ace King again appears. This time Dirty's going to get involved. He's been quiet for a while, picks up a legitimate hand, and Hani Bijlani's opened up the action with Ace 8 off.
So I was just about to say 4,200 is the number. And that's going to be the end of this hand, I guess.
Right, he picks up some dead money.
Easy life.
Yeah, risky bet really with the 21k there, because if they've got it, that's tournament over, isn't it? So, but yeah, good play.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? When you put your opponent in the cage for their tournament life for the entire stack, then all the math goes out the window, and that's why this game is as interesting as it ever gets. Those are the spots where you can't just look at the numbers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there's a story. There's a story that everybody's trying to say, and there's a story that Sriharsha was trying to say, and there's a story that Mahima also knows that he's trying to say and he's capable of saying.
Yeah.
But when you just get all your chips in, then well, all bets are off, I guess.
I'll tell you, I don't know what language that story was written in, but I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
I think all of us are trying to figure it out. Even though we have access to the whole cards, we are still, just wondering what happened. And it was interesting, it was not even heads up, Sam. It was three-way. Sriharsha was completely out of position.
Yeah, that's why it's a great play on the end, you know, because you've really got to worry about, what's the third person calling with. And you've also got to worry about the fact that it does look like you've both got a couple of draws, because from on the other point of view, if you did have a real big value hand on the turn, well, first to act, wouldn't he lead if he's got the jack, for example, on the turn to prevent the draws from getting in? Because Ashish, I think it was, called behind, he could easily have a draw and get there for free too. So yeah, these are all the things, but again, that's why the bets.
There's something wrong.
He probably knows if he bets 8 or 9k, it's easier to value to bluff catch, I guess, because Mahima's still going to be left with a playable 15 big blind stack. So yeah, great play.
Yeah.
Deval, come on, up to 1800, nick the blinds. Let's go.
Oh, he's checked behind, and he's got he's got middle pair. Here we go.
Yeah.
Honey's leading on that board after limping in.
About the echo, right?
Yeah, another little feeler bet. I don't see Deval doing anything other than calling here.
Wow, that's an interesting card.
That's a great card where Honey might have given up on the turn. He now really has to follow through. I expect 12, 1300, 1800. That's quite a good bet. Deval, although he can't, I don't think he's going to fold again. As such, I mean, it's so strong. Having said that, he knows he's probably going to be faced with, can he call off another 5k on the end?
Yeah, let's see if Honey's actually going to make this bet on the river. The way he's been playing, I wouldn't put it past him. Well, there we go. He checks, and Dhaval more than happy to check behind.
Yeah. Seeing the hand, Honey might be kicking himself that he might have got away with the triple barrel, but didn't seem like Deval was folding, so checking is fine. I think betting the turn again is also fine. He's picked up the extra 4 outs, so yeah. Deval's not folding this. No chance. No chance.
Yeah,
8-9
and
with hearts.
I'm sure he's not going to be just calling off either. So he's either going to be 3-betting or just getting out the way. He gets out the way.
I don't know what's happened to him, but oh well.
Doubles is in an interesting spot right now because Honey's been opening up the action a lot. And Sriharsha has been calling off a lot and putting the pressure post flop. So when he's in the
Yes.
small, he's in a spot when Sriharsha's also behind to act, and there's an initial raiser. It's a great spot for Sriharsha to put the squeeze on if Tawal does make the call.
Yeah, of course. Also, I think Deval's probably thinking, he's going along nicely. They're going. They finished with 0 points in the last sit and go.
Absolutely.
He's probably wanting some redemption there.
Right.
This is actually a really good flop for kings and threes.
This is an action-packed flop.
Yeah. I mean, you could even see Sharasha raising this
Right.
just for almost for protection, for I'd like to see a big bet from Mahima here. Close to pot.
Oh.
Too cheap for Sharasha to fold. But if he tries some shenanigans, I don't think he's going to get away with it on this turn.
It's going to be interesting this time if he actually does go for the raise. Mahima, like you said, Sam, more often than not will be making the call this time.
I think Mahima will dive in there head first. Oh, that's interesting.
Right, for those of you who've just tuned in, this is the second match from the first event of the VPL, Virtual Poker League. The first sit and go finished a few hours back, and representing the Deccan Aces, Smita Agarwala took that down, heads up against Romit Advani of the Gujarat Falcons. And at the moment, stacks pretty much even in this one. Everyone's playing pretty good solid poker, and all of these people who are in the lineup are known for playing solid poker, and that's exactly what we're seeing, Sam.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit more cagey than the first sit and go. This one has, for sure.
Right.
The trend of small C bets is there again.
Right. How much was the bet? Sorry, I missed that on that King 8 board, 2 diamonds. How much was the bet?
600, I think.
Into a pot of?
I think the pot was 2.4 or 2.8, 24, 27, I think.
Right.
So it was a min raise plus. I think the trend is still there. The trend of small continuation bets is there. The trend of floating isn't. So it's working better, I guess, in this one here.
Right.
This is what I mean here. Sharasha, I think, at some point is going to be like, right, that's it. I'm gonna peel one and just punish you for free betting me all the time. I lose patience. I think it's my old age. By that time, that's the third time. If that was me, I'm like, I'm not folding now. I don't care now. That's you've got aces. I'm still calling. Show me the aces and a set of them, and I'm still calling.
Yeah, we don't buy the story that easily, right, Sam?
Nah.
Yeah, I heard.
That's the pride. That's the pride factor of having to fold 3 times in a row. Nice easy call for Deval, priced in. Queen 7-6, anyone?
You're willing it on always, Sam. Here we go. There's a queen on the board.
Yeah.
There's a gut shot for Sriharsha, and an underpair to that board for Ashish. This is interesting. All 3 players very, very tricky. Sriharsha this time's got position over all of them, and he fires.
I don't see tons of action. I think Deval may even fold this. It's not like he has a hand that can really greatly improve. So he could just be firing 1200 into the abyss. Yeah, so nice. I think on an ace 10 queen 1 spade board, maybe you can, or not even ace 10 queen, like ace queen X, a small card 1 spade.
Right.
Could definitely see an argument for continuing.
Right. That's the thing. A lot of people who just who That's a great spot, and a great pickup by you, Sam, to say that you're better off folding there, even though you've got mid pair on that board, because
Yeah.
because what are you going to do on the turn when it comes out? You're going to check and
Exactly.
probably face a big bet. So viewers who are watching, that's some great insight from Sam there, and Dawal absolutely playing it right. I'm pretty sure he was thinking on the same lines.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're priced into call something pre-flop doesn't mean you should get married to, oh, I've got a pair now, I kind of have to call another bet. You can just let it go. This is a good card for Honey on the turn, other than the 5 that make him a straight, because little does he know, Ashish literally has nothing that he's can call with. So
Yeah, he's gone pretty big on this turn card. See, he actually, I believe, shipped a Tony online, not too far back in the past. I think a week back or 2 weeks back. So he's in some good form.
Oh, okay, nice.
Right. Here we go. Mahima's got queens. She opens it up. King queen suited for Honey, who's on the button.
It's a candidate for a free bet. However, well, that's the end of that hand. I assume, anyway. Would you like to entice and make it 7-8 or something, or do you just like to pile in here? I mean, it's never a flat call, is it? So.
It's interesting. You make it 7-8, Sam, like you say, and King Queen suited. One of the best hands post flop. What makes it difficult for him to call off or even jam on you?
Yeah.
Well, Mahima was not taking any chances. She just let it rip.
Oh, they've moved round one space. Queens.
Queens for Honey. He's on the button. Nobody else picking up much.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. Is he on the button? He's not on the button, is he?
Yeah, actually,
the dealer button's there.
He's not on the button. I believe the button should be at Sri Harsha.
Yeah. Hey, Dirty, can you move the button, please? He's not listening. Yeah, just a minor glitch there, I guess.
Right. For those of you who've not met Dirty in over the last 2 months, Sam, you too, this is good for you to know. Dirty's been on a strict diet. He's got an exercise regimen going. He's got rid of most of his locks. He's pretty much got a very well shaped beard right now. He's lost a lot of weight. I met him a couple of weeks back at a friend's birthday party. Still got a lot to say though. When you meet him.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
I've been going to the gym with my brother the last 3 weeks because I put on loads of weight, but that's good to hear that Deval's keeping well. But the locks, no.
Yeah, he's got rid of most of the locks. Yeah, I think
he's got rid of the locks.
A lot of people have been asking him this, as we see a play being made by Mahima there from the big, and also Ashish Ahuja. I overheard him saying that he's on a diet too. I think he's also switched to a strict diet and exercise combination.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother's studied nutrition as well, and he's you don't really know until you really, it's so important, the nutrition and the exercise combined. Some people go on these crazy ass diets that you're just not eating anything or whatever, and some people think going to the gym a couple of hours a day and eating whatever they want works. It just doesn't. So yeah.
Right.
That's good. It really helps. I found anyway. It really helps for just the mental side of the game at the table, sitting there all day.
Yeah, right.
If you feel good, yeah.
And I think that's exactly what I was coming to, and you said it even before. A lot of people who've made this change, to go healthier with their lifestyles, because after all, the game of poker involves sitting in one place for a long time. Takes up most of your mental space. So and you'll see that most people who actually make a change in the right direction with respect to their diet and exercise, combination of those two, you'll see it reflect in their game too. You know, they just seem fresher for longer periods of time. They're making right decisions more often than not. It's another thing for those of you who are wondering, you know, how to improve your in-game work. It's a lot of it is off table, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discipline that goes into being a successful poker player, and I don't think I've met anyone that I can say has true utter discipline, apart from perhaps Yori Yogo, people like that. But then I don't know them enough personally. But the more discipline you have, the more successful you'll be for sure.
Absolutely.
Deval doesn't have the discipline not to bluff at this one, but it's probably gonna work. I mean, ace high are probably cool.
Wow.
King high is the same thing. Yeah, that's a good call. Given Deval's in the big blind, and he's checked it all the way down, I think that's a fair call. But he did make it a bit cheap, Deval. But then I'm guessing he's just thinking that's fine. Honey likes these suited connectors. So yeah.
So I believe Honey is on the button, viewers, though it says he's on the small blind. I believe Dhaval was on the small and Sriharsha on the big. Both of them got out the way. And like Sam called it, Honey's going to get in the action when he's got suited connectors.
Yeah, I noticed in his player questionnaire, one of the questions they ask is, what's your favourite hand? And I like Honey's answer. His answer was all hands.
Now that's a busy player.
So I thought, I'm looking forward to this action. Someone that likes all hands. That's me when I play Omaha, actually. Any 4 cards.
You've been playing any 5 card, Sam?
Yeah, I haven't played 5 card for a while, but I do play, whatever's going 5, 6 cards.
I think this is a much quieter table.
Yeah,
than the
it
first
gets
one.
to a stage eventually where you look for a bit more action,
Right.
Do you play 5 card PLO? Or?
I don't play PLO at all. I play only Hold'em.
Yeah, PLO's are great.
I'm just not used to.
So Sam, we've just got back the banter, so we're going to cut to the banter. Everybody's mics seem to be working. Let's see what they say.
हाँ इधर साले ने कुछ नहीं बोला
हाय तो बोल
Not even
फैमिली को हाय बोलते थे देखो
Among Us कैसे खेलता है?
I think he put the audio off. He doesn't want to listen to anything. The expression doesn't say so.
मैं बिल्कुल भी नहीं बहकाऊंगा बिल्कुल
Right, Sam. So there was some people, I think Mahima, who brought it up, saying she thought this table was way quieter, or is way quieter than the first one that we had in our first match. And then it got, and that's all she had to say. Dirty got to it. He started saying what he usually says. Let's get back to the action. What do we have here, Sam?
So yeah, she's kicked things off and pushed, got Deval out of his nest to start up some chitter chatter. So yeah, this should be a fairly easy takedown, although Ashish, I was just wondering if he's going to
16 or 24.
find the double hero call with King High, turn river. But, yeah, moving on, not much for anyone here.
Is this our audio only or it's somebody else?
You all observe now.
I think it's interesting. Going back to the hand in the first sit and go, it's interesting how one hand can sort of dictate the dynamic for the rest of the table. When we had that big eights full against ace queen, and then the action really sort of started to pick up And we haven't had a big sort of cooler like that so far at this table. So I think there's also something to be said for
apart from yours, everyone
going into the second game when you already know the points, the standings, and I think some players will have in their mind already their plan on, I want to, if you're in Deval's seat, for example, you'll be
It's probably
thinking,
nearing the break. No?
I'm trying to finish as high up as I can because I'm obviously we're sitting in last place.
Right.
Whereas the first place, the Deccan Aces, right?
Yeah, Rajat Sharma basically for the Deccan Aces in this.
Rajat Sharma for the Deccan Aces. I feel you almost have. There's almost a bit more of a license to mess around because you're in the top spot. Do you know what I mean? It almost gives you a bit of freedom to play about a bit without the pressure of having to gain points.
Right. This one's super interesting, Sam, because Rajat fired out a bet on that flop. Mahima with the raise, Rajat makes the call, and Mahima's checked back to him on that 4 of spades, which has come out on the turn.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a great all-in jam with the up and down. We'll get the job done, but I think... brilliant. I mean, if this goes... however, Mahima might have to bluff this one and it might actually work.
Yeah, I think if she pulls the trigger on this one, it might work. She decides to check though.
Yeah, I think if you're going to flat call with just the up and down. I mean, the sad part is if it paired the board with no heart, I think it might have actually gone check in the end, because Rajat might have had to give up and Mishima would have won the hand. But I think if you're gonna float with just the up and down, once you should have the backup plan that okay, if a heart comes, I'm going to represent.
Right.
Maybe the board pairing was part of the hearts come, but maybe he actually had unlikely set something. This is interesting. You know the 4 of clubs comes all the time on the turn. Oh, not on this occasion. There's no reason for Sriharsha not to continue on the turn again. Probably feeling quite confident.
Right.
He's got the best hand. The Queen is really a nothing card when Ashish continues.
Right.
It's unlikely he's going to be peeling King Queen, Queen Jack, or Ace Queen. You would have heard about pre-flop. And it's interesting because Sriharsha's probably actually betting for protection and value, and now Ashish is going to have to question. If his opponents hit the Queen, he's drawing dead to the 7. Now it might go. Check. Ashish could easily have 7-8. He wouldn't be calling again with a gut shot that involves a 9. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Right. So well played by Ashish. There's a couple of hands that we've seen Ashish in. Sam, he's made absolutely the right decisions.
Solid play.
Yeah, solid play. He's just one of those players who's always solid. Sriharsha is definitely one of the busier players on this table, and he continues to be busy.
Yeah.
When
don't know.
When the 9 rolls out on that river, Sam, if you're in Sriharsha's spot, you're going to be checking more often than not.
Yes, I mean I'm obviously hating it because I think that I could put Ashish on the random gut shot involving the 9
right.
if it goes check on the turn. When he calls 5 point whatever it is on the turn, 7-8 definitely comes into the range. So I think I'm either dead on the river or the 9 means nothing. Because what's Ashish called with other than that's going to continue all the way? 6-9 suited. Maybe you hold Sriharsha holds a 6 as well. I'm more inclined to think Ashish has something like the ace 5, maybe a6, which would give some argument for Sriracha to try and bluff the river. But I think that all the hands that you beat, but the value hands are going to check behind.
Right.
And if he is going to bet the river, it means you were basically crushed all along. So just give up.
Right. So there we go. And another important piece of information for our viewers: there is a contest running on this stream too, and it's I believe the contest question is who's going to bust out first. And it's been even Steven, Sam. Like, I'm sure the viewers are seeing this as well. I can't pick this. You have a pick, Sam?
I don't. I was just. I mean, given that only given that Sriracha's is amongst the shorter stacks, if you can say short, it's 30 bigs, and he's the busiest player, I would put my money on him only because I can see him getting busier before anyone else.
Right.
But
Fair.
the same odds that he could bust first, I think he can also easily go on a tear and
Yeah, that's
this is good.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say this is actually really a nice spot for Sriracha here because he's checked back the ace-8 in the big blind. So I can't see Deval betting again. He was surely betting the value. Flop and turn. I would be looking to check and try and extract some value from 8-9 offsuit if he's going to bet the river. Sriracha can check or bet. Either way is fine, I guess. I would lean towards a small bet.
Right.
2,800, 3,800, something like that. I think it's always important to try and define, the pots are a certain size, but you start thinking, the way my opponents play, does he have that I can actually extract value from, and how much can I possibly get? And I think 48 might be a bit too. The only legitimate hand you're beating is the 8-9. I can see Deval calling or folding. It's a bit of a sick one.
Yeah, it's definitely a sick one, and also going exactly half pot, sometimes it makes it seem like it's a bit more bluffy, when on the other hand it actually could be to extract value. So this could go either way, Sam. You are right. Let's see what Dhaval's going to do. He's in the tank.
I think he might pay it off. It'll be a good fold if he does. That's the dirty we know. See, that's what happens when you lose your locks and go on a diet. You start making lots of folds like that.
मैं कब सेट आउट हुआ
नहीं हुआ था No, it's a good fold only. I mean, it's a good fold only. I mean, it's a thin value bet, but I don't know. If you didn't call, I'm sure either you're snap calling and either you're nine calling.
Right. So the banter actually, Sri Harsha and Dhaval discussing the hand. So we're going to get in on this. Sri Harsha claiming it was a thin value bet. So you know what, Sam? I didn't know poker players speak the truth at this frequency. We had Sri Hari Bang speaking the absolute truth and nothing but the truth in that first match. I think Romit also spoke the truth a couple of times there. Here Sri Harsha speaking the truth. What's happening? Poker players, they don't bluff anymore.
I know, but it is open to interpretation as well. By saying it's a thin value bet, he could be betting 10 deuce. that might send Deval on.
I think that's one way of looking at it. It is interpretations are open.
Yeah, but I think I think it's definitely that 15-minute. The knowledge that you're going to be outed within 15 minutes. I think it pays to be honest in the short run, probably.
Probably.
And then later on down the line, when there's no live stream or whatever, you can say whatever you want. It lends you some credit for when you next play live, I guess.
Right. In this particular hand, Sam, we're sweating with Rajat Sharma because we actually don't know what he's got.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, I would be putting Rajat on something like King Queen, King Jack, given the post flop action. I think it might go check check. I'd be tempted. I don't think I can fold the river.
Yeah,
Jack Queen's a possibility.
Right. When another 9 rolls out, I don't see Sriharsha folding to most bets here. Let's see what Rajat Sharma has got in store for us. Whoa, there we go.
I'm not folding this. I think it's. You just, like, what are you betting? Unless you've got aces or kings or something like that. I mean, is he really thin value betting ace 10? I think that was a bluff, but.
Right. I believe that's the end of the first level, Sam. So in the chip lead after that pot, Rajat Sharma, what did you make of that play in that first session, Sam? Anything particular that stood out for you?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of great play, especially Sriharsha's just relentless. I think Honey, given his love for any hand at all, has done well not to be trapped with his hand in the cookie jar. I think, like we said, I think the play's been a bit more cagey than the first sit and go, but now the blinds are going to be going up and up. There's going to be not a lot of room for this tricky play, so action's going to heat up.
Right. I think the action's definitely going to heat up. And we're going to go on a short break, and on the other side of this break, Sam will be joined by Raj. So stay tuned, guys.
It's like a movie, just like a storybook. We are the future, we're the ones they won't overlook. It's time to be the hero.
Hi everyone, I'm Sumit Sapra. To be honest with you, I did not really choose to become a poker player. So I got introduced to poker while I was working full time. It's been about 12 years, I would say now. And I gradually started developing an interest in the game and started spending more and more time playing and also learning more about the game. So one fine day, I just was thinking about this, and I decided, even if I make less money, I'm less successful, it doesn't really matter as long as I enjoy my life more and I can still have a reasonably good, life or a standard of living. And that's when it clicked for me, and I started giving more and more time to poker. And finally, I decided to give up everything else that I was doing and try this full time. So, poker and
surprise! It's me. I'm back after dinner. Blood sugar is good. I'm healthy, and I'll keep the tempo up. How are you doing, Sam?
Not bad. How are you? You okay? Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good. You can hear the energy, no? Food. All right, pocket kings for Sriharsha.
Wow, straight back in with the kings. He's not going to time out, is he?
Oh yeah, the break. Oh no. Oh, it's the break phenomena. The break phenomena has happened to all of us. Oh, I have a very interesting story from Sriharsha. Sam, did you know he played professional poker for 2 years after leaving his job and he didn't tell his parents? And in India, not telling your parents is a big deal.
Yes, I've,
Rajat still didn't
I've heard. So he left his
How
job,
is he
so they
holding
didn't
when
find
he's
out for
not
2
here?
years that he'd left his job, or
Oh,
did they know that he'd left his job but they didn't know what he
where
was
the sitting
doing in
hours?
between? Or
No, after I raised, I saw
We
that
got
he
some
was
banter, so you're going to cut to that for a second.
okay.
What should we do? No, I raised. Oh, you guys are asking for Rajat raised.
Harsha is.
I raised. Oh, I thought you guys are asking, how can you raise and
You weren't at the table. How could you?
I'm like, maybe we made a pact that we'll just work out. Like,
You for the first hand, none of you guys were on the table. I was going to open. I had 5 4 open, but they still folded. He's like, I can see the screen. He's like, you're sitting out. The screen was saying you're sitting out.
well, let's call Rajat.
Right, back to the commentary table. They were trying to figure out who folded what.
This will be interesting if Mahima decides to go with this one.
I don't think
This is a clear shovel fold.
last feed though.
I mean, I personally would probably fold here, but
audible only. Players
but a shove will get the job done.
They said they fixed it.
Oh, okay.
Rajat sitting pretty, still sitting out, off on his break, 61,000 chips.
You missed like 5 hands.
Did you see that stone cold bluff from Sriharsha against the ace king?
Yes,
I
the
only give Rajat raised.
you had 3-4 offsuit, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was
कितने hands हो गए?
that was quite something.
All right, we got into the banter.
4. Yeah.
Blinds नहीं है, a small blind.
So the table's pretty sporadic with that talk compared to the last table. The last table, you could keep them quiet.
Oh, you couldn't keep them quiet. Yes, yeah. We were saying that earlier that it was a bit more serious. This one, I think they've probably, as I was saying, they've noticed they're standing on the leaderboard. Some of them have sort of focused on trying to get some points for their teammates, and I think as the blinds go up, the banter should go up. Really, I mean, as the action progresses.
I agree. Do you like the Sean Connery look on Rajat Sharma? Do you recognize him?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. The Rock.
I'm going to fold pocket kings after the break. I haven't seen that. I can't. Yeah.
The Rock.
The Rock. If you smell what the Rock is cooking. So, no action with the ace queen, I guess. Surely Sriharsha's not going to pile in with the ace deuce here. Flatting with 16 pigs behind.
We have two solid players.
3 of hearts. Yeah, it's going to be hard for Sriharsha to win this pot now. It would make no sense for him to bet this turn with thing.
I think it's the bad kicker in this spot. Even if he was floating.
Yeah, I mean it's. Yeah, I mean it's. Yeah, there are a lot of turns where Sriharsha could have potentially had a chance to win the pot, but that was just a killer turn.
If you notice, 4 of the players are going towards the short stack game pretty soon.
Yes, yeah, Honey, Mahima, Sriharsha.
Dhaval's around 22 bigs.
Oh,
Oh, no, the anti.
Deval, I think I can feel his pain. Oh, he's actually raised it. I thought he wanted to raise,
I
but
think
his stack isn't quite
the last turn
big enough to be opening this hand, but
600.
should work really. Defending the queen six.
That's a wide defend.
Yeah, there are some hands. I probably would have let queen six go. Deval will certainly fire here. It's going to be interesting to see how he continues on the turn, given after this 2.5k or so bet on the flop. 2k, he's only being left with 18.
Are you gonna say?
Of course,
Are you gonna say that they're gonna hit a jack on the turn? Because I know you you jinxed the 9 in the last game against Romit.
Jack of diamonds, the jester from Leicester. Boom! No,
Yeah.
that's another.
Not every time.
That's another. It's another good card for Deval. I think he has the option of checking behind because he might just hit his the straight anyway, and also he can easily represent, that he's got ace 10, ace jack, or anything on that board. Legitimately, it just looks like he's going for some pot control, so he can definitely bluff the river. That's a great bet, and
it does represent his range more, doesn't it? Because of Dirty takes it down.
Good bet on the turn. $3,000 or a shove.
Easy fold, Mahima, I'm guessing.
Should be. Sometimes you see these cards and think,
should I get fancy?
Oh, let me just call to see the 6 of clubs in the door and we're gone. Let's go. Never mind.
The country is watching.
2.5x.
That is another factor.
We got some banter going again.
And when I was betting the turn, I took it up to 7, and then suddenly I saw it reset it back to 2. Imagine if I bet 2 again. I would have had to jam river.
Dhaval was talking about the line he's going to take in the last hand.
3-bet Harsh in one hand, and
I flattered.
and the hand which I made for 200. It went back to 300. I made for 200, it went back to 1800. And I was almost gonna bet 1800, 3-bet to 1800, and I realized it's changed to 18.
Feeding trouble.
Yeah, good only. This quality is different.
Are the audio and
Oh,
video going
get it in there.
together?
Yeah.
I think.
It should ideally.
I don't see any of you moving your lips, moving your. All of you are saying something.
I'm saying something.
We see Dhaval waving his
I
hands
just see
all over the
Dhaval
place.
constantly smiling. But that's it.
This is a legitimate shoving hand. 8, 10 of hearts, delicious. I wouldn't recommend this from Honey. Min raising the King 8.
Do you think Harsh will get in there? They are almost equal stack.
Well, it's a great spot to just shove here, knowing that Honey just opens any hand.
In your frame.
Save me a lot of trouble.
Ooh.
Honey open.
Pocket rockets for Ashish Ahuja.
I was just about to say we haven't seen many monster hands, and then we just saw this, but then looking around and actually nothing for. Having said that, Rajat, with the chip lead and looking at second chip leader stack, if you can flop well, you might win something. So I can see him defending this.
16 and 27.
Okay, the player chat is just going hot.
Yeah.
Dhaval's on it.
And I was not happy about it.
I mean, fifth hand I like jam with like 3 high. I was not liking it. I'm hoping somebody will pick out first so that it's cold. Because that's the worst time I get to go with fire to love. Even though I'm not
Too
running.
bad we didn't see the fireworks.
हाँ ये तुमने तो सीधा जैक अप कर दिया.
Yeah, I have to do it.
But like I know you don't have a jack.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are also tapped on the turn.
Look
So
at
it's like,
Bates
I
with
can
the
go
Val
wide
again.
for
It looks like there's going to be no action.
I would have rather put you on sixes there then.
I think this is going to go undisputed.
Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
Just
Having said that, Ashish,
like very
Oh,
if he's
yeah.
defending,
Yeah,
defending the
1,000 more.
Queen 6, I think he'll be defending the Jack
What do
5
I
as
do
well.
That's only
There we go.
Yeah, you just call. मैं तो call कर देता.
So, I mean,
But then
Paval's got to think of the best way he can play this to actually extract any value. Any big ace who would have suited 3-bet pre, I think he should go along the routes of checking this flop back.
No, even I expect her to have a strong hand, I would never block.
When I saw her and I was like, really?
Oh, you got मैंने तो screen देखी नहीं अभी.
हाँ मैंने side में लगाई है, mute करके.
That's a pretty fishy thing to do. मैं अब लगाता हूँ.
Dhaval's been playing fairly loose overall.
I think
Don't you think so, Sam?
Oh, your team talks to you.
Deval playing fairly loose. Kind of. I think at the start he was playing very, very solid. There's been a couple of hands that he's been involved in that he's had to be involved in because he's from the big blind. I think he's played fairly solid. Definitely not as loose as I sort of come to expect from him. But yeah, I think that's Deval. Once the blinds are going up, he's going to look to try and drive the action and get some pots going. Funny enough, Mahima's got the best hand.
She probably doesn't know it.
Yeah,
doesn't think so.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if she's going to find the jam if Deval bets out here.
Dhaval was the pre-flop raiser. Checks it and Sri Harsha. Do you think Mahima will find the call with the mid pair? Because she
I think given the stack and what's in the middle, it's a decision now of shoving or just folding. Like if you're going to call the mid pair and you think it's good, just get it in. It's vulnerable to exactly the hands that are out there. So
would you recommend that with I mean heads up I can understand, but even three-way?
I mean, what Shirasha legitimately got there that he's flat called a raise with pre. To me, I would go with it because it smells like 4s, 6s, 7s. These are hands that if Mahima shoves, he may actually fold as well. He might fold 6s, I guess. But it looks like it's just a teaser bet. He can bet that small because he knows Mahima has to call or shove. And then Deval also has an awkward stack size he can't really float with. So I probably would have just got it in. The concern was Deval checking there. You expect him to see bet. So
wow, did you expect this shove?
Oh no, we saw something similar to this earlier.
I think
wow, Queen Jack.
Yeah.
Wow, and it wins. Yeah.
Good game.
Good game.
Wow.
Right. We have the first bust out. And wasn't the one, I mean, I don't know who was going to go, but Sriharsha was one of the favorites. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Good game, buddy. That's poker.
You didn't even get points.
That's unfortunate. This is crazy here. Queen Jack suited.
What do you think of the call?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Deval's going to reship the Ace Queen here for sure.
I can't hear you.
But
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just very unfortunate for the nines. This is defining for... Oh,
Mahima wins it, takes it down. The overcards are no good.
yeah, that's just unfortunate luck for Deval. Not only Deval, they're going nuts because they obviously... that puts him second shortest stack and in danger of finishing the day on 0 points for the team. That would have been, well, not 0 points obviously because we've already had one bust out, but
Yep, the 5th place does get some points. The 6th one is actually a tragic spot to be out in. But that's
Yeah,
poker.
that's
Someone's
right,
got to
yeah.
take that spot, yeah?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just really unfortunate that he took the spot and it just didn't. Oh, back to back.
Whoa.
Mahima's got jacks. Deval definitely
He's
shoving
jamming
in
it
here,
in.
I think. And it's just going to be really unfortunate that he's run into.
I'm studying Dirty's face right now. He's just pondering. You can see him flashing his eyes.
I
Oh, he
wonder
whoa.
who fold. Wow.
Wow. You could see he talked himself out of it.
Solid fold. That is, yeah, brilliant. Ashish is probably going to lose a few chips here. In fact, if Mahima actually bets quite big, Ashish might see that as, yeah, I think he'll obviously just flat here, but if Mahima had gone a bit bigger, he might have seen that as a sort of ace-high continuation and just, with the size of the pot, put the pressure on and shoved.
Mahima. Well done. I think now he'll just let it go.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not prudent. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if flat calling would have been a better option. You expect ace highs to float, so you're not worried about an ace coming because he doesn't have an ace. King high.
I think
Yeah,
I was
mean,
good there.
You have virtually the nuts of the jacks. Having said that, you might not get any more action anyway.
In her mic, Mahima was like, I'm pretty sure I was good there. Mahima, you're right. You were.
Just about.
But I like the aggressive play from Ashish. He knows he has a sizable stack compared to Mahima's and he put full pressure.
Yeah, I think it's also sort of defined his hand a bit. He probably felt like he didn't want to sit there and check call off all the way with, even though he had a pair of threes. And he got his question answered pretty quickly.
Right. Rajat Sharma, Sean Connery, Wolverine, PSL Season 2 Player of the Season against Ashish Ahuja, the young old man. Takes it down.
Young old. Nice.
So we have the two big stacks now to our right, Rajat Sharma and Ashish Ahuja. And I believe they would be aware of the dynamic that, if they go crazy against each other, they do have something to lose. There are other fish in the sea.
That. Yeah, absolutely.
It looked like you wanted to.
And Ashish can obviously exploit that. Being to his left, he can profitably free bet
And that and also
a big percentage of the time.
It was
For those of you who are just tuning in, it was Sriharsha Dodapanini who busted 6th for not points. I am saddened because I was rooting for Delhi, so that's that. Alright, again Ace Queen and King 9. We know Ashish does like to put on the pressure. Rajat has recognized that.
Yeah,
What do you reckon?
I mean, I think Ashish will fold.
I know,
However, he might feel like
में समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है.
he wants to put the pressure on maximum and get it in. If I don't know how, like, what's the difference in points? So 3-6. Third is 9k. The real sort of ICM factor comes in. You know, the top three, the top two are where the points are really at, aren't they? So, oh,
Pocket
this
rockets
is
again. Mahima.
Oh,
Oh,
really
A7
unfortunate.
open.
Yeah,
Wow. Wrong spot to mix it up.
yeah. This is the end
This
of
is
the
a
day
gift.
for Honey, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yo, honey
Unless
singer.
miracles needed. That's not the mill.
Nah. Wow.
Yeah.
Mumbai Anchors loses their player Hani Bijlani. Yo Hani Singh busts out for the fifth position. He does take some points home though.
Yeah. 3k points for his team.
Mahima just being gifted that stack right there with the aces. She didn't need to do anything.
Yeah, I think Honey, I mean, he was down to what, 8 bigs or something. I think you can fold. I think I'd rather get it into the hand like 9-10 than ace-7.
The players'
but
chat is
he's-
lit up. We're switching over to the banter.
Nice.
I'm just guessing. I just hope that wasn't a chat at Honey's expense. Poor guy. You know, the thing about online is, you know, you have the privacy of your home and everything, and now you're doing this when the entire world can see.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, there is that sort of pressure on there. This is an interesting one. I don't think the Val will shove the ace-6, for sure. If he's folded 7s to Mahima's raise earlier, there's no way he's touching ace-6. But Rajat, again, with the stack sizes, there's no profit really in re-raising a hand like 4s. You want to flop a set and, you know, make something out of this.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Poor Daval would have actually doubled up. Doubled up, barring the 9.
Dhaval is very aware of the dynamics, I believe. He shipped a couple of live events as well in Vietnam. And
Yeah. He won the WPT as well, I think, in Vietnam, the end of 2018.
Isn't that your home turf as well? You did well there, right? Was it Vietnam or Philippines?
Mainly the Philippines.
Right.
Yeah. I did like Vietnam though. It's a great destination to play poker for sure. Right, the big free bet coming in again from the ace queen, 8,000-9,000.
Fairly equal stacks for 3 of the players. Dirty is the shortest now. No puns intended. I think Rajat will comfortably get out of the way. No point tangling with the suited connector so early on.
Yeah, I was going to say he might just peel one just because...
It wouldn't be expected if he hits something, yeah.
Well, if he hits it, he's got a chance of, if he can, you know, bust a sheesh, or I don't know if he can bust him, but yeah, he could bust him, and but he can really drive through for the victory. But I think he just decided, because he's opened a couple of times to do free bet, I think he decided to just put down on that occasion and just take a stand. I think this is going to be a fold if Mahima jams. I think the Val's
I was going to call.
going to have to call, even given that he knows she doesn't open too light.
Dhaval is on the chat again with the banter. And you know, whenever I say it, he just... Everyone goes silent, man. Example here. I guess it's just when the hand gets over, they relax, they loosen up, and then they tighten up again and they go in.
See how I said, yeah?
This is an easy shove from Rajat, and the Val will obviously have to fold.
That was
I had a
looking
good hand. Queen 8.
for that double up.
Suited.
Coming now.
I had both your blockers, Queen and 10.
I think Rajat. Well, this is actually fold one for a change. It's probably a limp or fold, I think.
Yeah. Rajat and Ashish really at it. My God, is there a childhood rivalry that I don't know of?
Yeah, it does seem like they're going to clash in a big pot at some point. I have a feeling if Deval is the next out, which hopefully not, but if he is, I think we're more likely to see one of Ashish or Rajat bust in third than Mahima. I think they're going to clash together.
That is true, but the underdog story always gets the most eyeballs, right? So if he makes a comeback, yeah.
I hope he does. Yeah, that'd be great to see.
Yeah, and we'll get dirty talking then. We'll meddle him.
Yeah, we definitely just need to see the big comeback from Dirty. Here it is. It's going to be a shove from the small blind. Dirty's going to snap off in the big. And yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Needs to get there.
Tick tock. He's got something on the chin. He got two pair.
He's two pair.
Oh wow!
House.
Full house. Oh.
Nice. Is he dancing? He must be doing this now. Is
He
doing
had
that?
a chin up. I can't read what. I'm all in. He literally wrote, "I'm all in" on a chat on his window. So yeah, we're getting the story, the fairy tale story we wanted.
Yeah.
It's another thing. The
One
fairy
more
is dirty.
Yeah.
Could you imagine him in a tutu?
I was about to
With a beard?
say, yeah. I didn't want to make a joke when you said the fairy is dirty, but yeah,
right.
I've imagined him in a tutu on many occasions.
Oh my
Anyway,
God! Do I need to
but-
get into that? What's going on in the PSL?
Behind the scenes.
Right.
That's an interesting one because the sheesh 11,400 or 11,600.
Right, but just mid pair. Rajat is ahead. But Ashish is a dog with a bone. What is it? Wow.
Yeah.
And it's not like Rajat is too short or something that he can push him around.
Yeah, sheesh representing because he actually opened under the gun with that hand. So yeah. Oh, Deval with 4,000.
Okay, Dhaval. Hey, Dhaval, that's not loud. What are you doing? He's saying, I'm all in on the
I'm
chat
all in.
already. Yeah.
You can have it.
So there was a go in chant, right? Let's go, let's go. Wasn't it?
Let's go. I think so. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Go.
I
But
think
he's
it's
writing
as
it
per your wish.
again and he's going to fold. Surely. Oh no.
Then please go ahead.
Table banter.
Also, I think YouTube starts taking down racist or there's abusive
Poker face.
That was Dhaval lecturing everybody about abusing.
So basically, the bet slider is set to the big blind.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to get a big hand in the big blind.
That's not great.
Uh-oh.
Knowing Ashish.
Ashish will probably raise, and I think this is a perfect spot for either player to shove here.
Agreed. And Mahima goes first, I guess. You know,
That's
Someone who
great.
takes
Yeah,
initiative
great.
in this spot makes a difference. Don't you think, Sam?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hard sometimes when you look down. You'd rather have the ace jack, ace 10, something like that. The ace deuce, it's a solid shove for sure. Nice, good move.
She's all smiles. So you know what? Mahima plays online, and I don't want to give this out to the other players, but it's pretty obvious, you know. She has a smile from ear to ear when somebody falls and she wasn't. She's like,
She should have shown the deuce or something. Oh wow, this is this is small big. I thought he was just from the button. Yeah, that's doable. All in with the 10-9 suited. Ace queen. Nope.
Sam, I'm loving the dynamic with these four players, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. It's great. I just wondered. I wonder. It'd be interesting to. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting Mahima to open up with that. It's going to be. However, we've seen Ashish. He defends what looks like 100% of his range, so I don't see him folding the 8-5 here.
Wow, I was trying to see the first fold from him this evening, but okay.
No, I don't think we'll see. I think Mahima should check this all the way down and try and extract some value, really.
She's hungry. Yeah, she could have got more from him, but he's defending wide, right? So.
Yeah, he's defending wide. If you bet, and worst case scenario is you run into a queen. Just check it down, let him take a stab, I think.
Right. So just to, for the people who are joining us now, just to review, the sixth bust out was Sriharsha, followed by Honey Bijlani. And now we have 4 players down.
Ooh. I don't think Rajat's going to call off the shove, but he's definitely opening, and then Deval's going to...
Possibly jam?
I think Deval definitely, I mean, four-handed. Oh, now, 1,000,000%.
Oh, yeah.
1,000,000% this is an all-in.
2x, 2x. Yep.
1,000,000% all-in. The only reason Rajat might have isolating and basically calling off is that it does look like a squeeze spot. So it might be easier to call than if he just folded round and he jammed on him from the big. But this would be a real mistake to call that queen 10. Yeah. I think I would have preferred continuing with the dynamic of free betting from Ashisha's perspective instead of flatting with that hand. Just free bet.
Yeah.
The players are talking now. Back to the banter. So the players were discussing they can show their cards, and they do have that feature amongst themselves. So that's what the talk was all about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ashish and Rajat, the prodigal sons, want to battle out every hand.
Oh, he's actually picked up. Yeah, for just bets this, I think he's not folding the ace 5 here for sure. And you might even see a hero call on the end here. Rajat's going to have to go quite big. 8 or 9,000, I guess. I honestly, I think Ashish is going to make the call, to be honest.
Oh, he made that hauntingly scary call with the king high. Did you see that? Man.
Yeah, I have a feeling that just because he beat so many 7x with a... Oh, this is a snap call.
Tricky.
That's a snap call, 3,200.
I can't see Ashish's screen right now. Would have loved to see his face under that beard.
I didn't know that.
No, right now, just right now.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, there, I see him. He did call.
Yeah, I think I would have liked the bigger bet, because if you've got what he is representing as a straight, the 3 or whatever, you'd expect to be betting more. not tons, but more. And you also have to try and actually make him fold hands, so yeah, a bit too cheap. But he'll probably get some back here if things go his way, because they've both picked up an 8, but Rajat winning at the moment with the 9.
A good chance of this being a split pot as per the run out, you know. This is a marginal one.
Yeah. Having said that, I think he sort of handed the initiative to Ashish, who might end up. I think it's probably going to check down all the way. But if Ashish continues here, he's probably going to end up taking this pot down.
But the aggression between these two is scintillating. It's just. Whoa.
Yeah.
There hasn't been one easy, you know, you can take this one. You know, they're like every spot they're like zoned in. You can make that out. Don't you
Yeah,
think so, Sam?
exactly. And Rajat, I was going to say, he might even try to take this for himself. It'd be great if we see a hero call with the 8 there. I mean, he would have lost, but...
I was expecting like either a fold or a re-raise, maybe trying to represent a runner on a flush or something.
Yeah, that would have been, you know, one way around it.
So the players are trying to find their rhythm. They go awfully quiet now, every now and then.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Instant.
Ooh. She should definitely accelerate this hand, don't you think so? It's pretty wet.
Yeah, I think if Ashish bets quite big, there's no real reason to like 4-8. Yeah, I think a flat call again is decent. Sometimes you have to take these risks to get paid off, you know.
Oh, the river gets there.
That's a
Can she
killer.
get away?
Although it brings off flush, I don't think Ashish is worried about that, so he'll bet.
She could get away. It's a one carder, maybe with a lot of, but no,
I think she's been given 3.75 or something to 1 on the money. I think it's hard to fold it. So yeah, it's just a killer. Because the thing is, if the board bricks off, Ashish has to bet big to get her off it, and then she wins lots of money in the hand. Instead, she's just got unlucky.
What if she would have re-raised on the turn? Because, you know, there's possibilities of a straight there, over cards, and right now she's possibly ahead.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, she raises a turn, she'll win the pot, but sometimes when you want to really make it profitable, and you know that Ashish is capable of firing again on the river, sometimes you take that risk that you don't get outdrawn in return for the reward. This is interesting because Rajat had a hand that he could get aggressive with, and that play's been taken away by Mahima, who's won back a fair chunk of that last bet.
I like how she's going out of the blinds.
Yeah. However, Deval,
is it another
barring
gift?
Yeah, barring getting unlucky here, Deval's going to...
Is it karma? Because remember, the aces with Hani Bijlani have come back to haunt Mahima.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, see?
Oh,
no threes. Dirty gets it.
Wow, just like that, Dirty's gone from like 10k he had, and he's now second in chips.
Good game, Mahima, good game. She busts out in the 4th position.
Well played.
The Falcons lose their player. She was playing relatively well. She was entertaining.
Yeah, she was playing. She picked a couple of decent spots. Threes, yeah. It's awkward and it's hard to fold those hands, but you could definitely. Yeah.
So for our viewers who are watching, Sam, can you like just break it down? Because when you get pockets and you'd like.
It's not just a case of getting pockets when you're short-handed. It's also a case of how many chips you've got. also balanced against what's at stake. And so when you've got a hand like when stack, she had 24,000, right? That's about 12 big blinds. That's that's a playable stack. So, but you don't want to open and then have to fold to someone that shoves on you with ace jack or whatever. So you can let it go. You can let it.
That is fine. But उसके बाद next bet 4,000 की है.
Going to be in good shape. Yeah, I have a feeling Deval. I've got this gut feeling Deval's going to get there on the river with this hand.
Oh, you've been accurate so far. I mean, you got Romit busted out with the 9. I remember.
I think if I might fold here, but if he calls, I think he's going to actually get there by hitting the 7, which will save the chat. We'll never know. Damn. Deval. Cool, one time.
Raja didn't want him to see a cheap card, so that was a decent bet.
Yeah, it was a good bet on the turn. Same hands.
Okay, we have 3 bearded people in for it, for the title. Beardy number 1, Rajat Sharma. Beardy number 2, Ashish. Beardy number 3, our very own Dirty. And the way these guys have been playing, it's anyone's game. Such a treat watching them.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I wouldn't want to call it, to be honest. It could literally be any of them. Even though Rajat's got nearly half the stack of Deval in second place, well, not 2/3, I guess.
This is the first check pot I've seen amongst the two of them, and they've been at it.
Yeah, I think given that they were small blind, big blind, they both hit top pair. The turn was not good for either of them. They have enough showdown value. There's no need to bluff. Yeah, there was no need to go crazy there.
Not sure
My last
That's your hand. Oh. 8-3, 8-4, 10-3.
The players are having a banter. And back to the hand.
Yeah, so...
Predictions, Sam? The way things have been going? Dirty's made a good comeback, as predicted, as you wanted?
Yeah, I think not only has he made a good comeback, he runs quite well in these spots. So I think he could take it down. I do think either team could take it down. I think I'd probably like, just so it's a close. So the points are sort of close knit at the end of the night. It'd be nice to see Deval going nuts, having 0 points in the first, to actually taking all the points in the second. And yeah, it will make for quite a nice leaderboard going into day 2.
Not to forget, Rajat is already in the top 3, and that's Deck and Aces would probably get a good amount of points, with Smith already shipping the last SNG.
Yeah, that's right. So they've already got 9? They've already got 9 points. So yeah, if he finishes, if Rajat finishes at least second, that'll be a really close one at the top of the leaderboard. Ashish, he's with the Chennai, right? Oh no, that's Rajat.
Ashish is with Chennai Troopers. Ashish Ahuja.
Oh, okay.
Yep, he's got the massive Chennai behind him. In this spot, not much in it for either player. Aggression in position, I guess, takes the spot. So an interesting thing about Ashish, his biggest score was the WSOP final table last year. In the mixed event, Texas and the PLO. I think he was 5th or 6th.
Yeah, that's right. I came 11th in that, I think.
Oh, okay.
And
Did he
yeah,
bust
and then
you?
my friend, no, my friend ended up winning it. I think I had a bit of a swap with the winner, so it wasn't so
Oh.
painful. I think that was the mix, no limit. Yeah, and that's. Hang on.
Yeah, but it was the mix. I mean, the one Ashish was in.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the foray of Indian players on the international circuit now? You're a third person, so as to say. You know, there have been a lot of players who've been going at the WSOP in 2019 and got some good scores on GG as well. So, I just thought I'll ask for you for your 2 pence on how the Indian players have been doing internationally.
Yeah, I think they've really. I mean, they've been. It's like when I first played on the APT. It's just like the Japanese. When I first started playing there were 2, 3, 4 players, and only just a few years ago, I remember there's a poll about how many Indians do you think are going to be in the main event, blah blah blah, and there weren't even too many Indians playing in the World Series or making any waves. But then suddenly you get all these heavy hitters, and that's what I was trying to think of. Raghav Bansal came third in that event as well that we're talking about, where Ashish came fifth. So he nearly ended up winning the bracelet. He was one card away from winning it and couldn't get there, actually. They were all in three-handed. But yeah,
a big bet
great.
from
It's
Dirty
really,
and instant fold. What do you think about that?
I wasn't paying close attention to that.
No worries.
So
it was a very juicy situation. It was a red board. A king would have a straight, and Dirty took initiative with his mid pair.
Yeah, the 10-7, and yeah, that's a great bet. Takes it down, and I think Dirty's really positioning himself in a way to try and win this pot. This could be one where Ashish tries to get tricky. It's that sort of board. And it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Rajat is familiar to his tactics and his aggression.
Yeah, I think it makes no sense when you've done that small follow-through bet. It makes no sense to bet the turn, because I think what you really want to do is get these floaters to now do something to make a mistake and pay you off. And also, if he's got a 10, because it smelt like a float as well.
So the dynamics, right, where you want worse cards to stay in, and we do tend to forget when we are seeking value. I think that's a very elementary mistake, so to say, yeah?
Yeah, I think just sometimes there are other ways, like we were saying with the queen, when Mahima had the trip queens against Ashish, and yeah, it's a board where you flack all the turn, not because you think you're behind, but because you can kind of recognize what's going on, and sometimes you have to take a calculated risk if you think it's going to pay off in the long run. And wow, is this nice? That was an open.
All right.
Oh, I think free-handed Deval may start opening this one up, I guess.
He does.
And
you see a 3-bet?
Yeah, 14,800 or something like that. And that'll be the end of the hand.
I can see Ashish taking his time. And there comes the 14 raise bang on the prediction by Sam.
Yeah, and Deval, unless he thinks,
no spot to get cheeky against the chip leader right now.
Yeah. This could be an interesting one. I think Ashish will free bet if Rajat opens.
Sam, how wide would you defend your big blind here with this stack?
I would. Free-handed, I'd probably defending 100% of my range to a min open.
To min open.
To min open, I'm defending 100% for sure. with that stack size. Bigger opens, obviously that depends on what hands we're holding. This is an interesting one. I can see arguments for just piling in. I can see arguments for 3-betting.
And this is the problem. When the action comes to you, like there's a
Same here. Not 3-betting as such, but shoving or flatting.
Covering the bet
is
slider,
fine.
so I can't make a decision.
That's almost a shove there.
Yeah, and Ashish is going to have to
Let go.
fold. Yeah, I think often when people see these later stages of tournaments, you see these big shoves, you start thinking, well, maybe that's a bit, over the top.
They
But
should be able
you
to
have
put
to remember
seeds.
people are always making moves, and you don't want to,
See, it's only
it's, yeah.
So basically, Ashish is chip leading, and Rajat knows that he's going to be opening frequently, and he's obviously going to raise in such a way that only a very solid range would call him.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's a hand you don't want to. It's not monster strong, the ace-5, but what you don't want to do is make it 13,800, and then he shoves all in with king jack, and you have to call off, and then you lose.
Right.
Like you're taking away that you're
Fold
not trying
equity.
to entice. Yeah, you're taking away the need to put your chips at risk by making the move first. And you might not see this frequency of all-ins when you're 4-5-handed, but again, when you're 3-handed, the hand values, as the players bust, the hand values keep going up. And for example, here, this is another one, ace-9, 4-8. There's nearly 10,000 in the middle.
When is the next break?
Probably
Any
not
idea?
piling because the Val's behind, but you still can. And there it is, yeah, all in. Fold.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of this gameplay makes me reflect on my own gameplay now, because generally I would have gone for like an ace-jack, ace-10 minimum, but I guess that's a little bit nitty, I guess. But this is interesting to learn. This is what we are here for.
Yeah, free-handed. That's really nitty. So you must open up the game. For example, here. I mean, funnily enough, I much prefer shoving the king 10 than I do shoving the 4s. Rajat will probably shove the 4s here. If he's shoving ace 5, king 5, king 6, this is a legitimate hand. He'll shove, and
we do get it from Rajat.
He's lucky. Yeah, he's lucky that Deval doesn't have like the ace 10, because that I think would be a call. I hate these races at these late stages. So sometimes yeah.
I understand. I mean, you mean it's a marginal flip, but you still got to let it go.
Yeah, sometimes I actually don't mind even flatting. I mean, they're not deep enough, I guess. Not quite deep enough, but here we go. Rajat's probably he's going to shove here. That's the problem that you face. It's definitely not an open.
Okay, hold the press, ladies and gentlemen. Will we see? Okay,
and
Sam, you're the one. Tell me, will we see a 3?
I don't think so. There's only one left.
All right, there you
So
go.
I can't.
All right. You heard it from Sam.
Sorry.
I think quads is coming there.
मैं बोलूँ ये आगे क्यों नहीं जा रहा?
Ashish holds the fort. Bye bye, Rajat Sharma. Good game, GG. Deccan still gets the good points with the 3rd position. I believe they would still be leading the leaderboard for the teams. We are heads up between the 2 old young men, Ashish and Dhaval. Hey, okay, without looking at your information and cards, guess Ashish's age, Sam. You get 2 guesses.
I don't know what he looks like or anything. I can't. I'm not sure at the moment. If I looked, I could. Ashish. Is he the one? Did you say that came 5th in the
in the WSOP?
Trying to put a face. 40.
So how would you Would you believe me if I told you he's as old as me? I look like a son.
How old are you? 30?
Yeah.
32? 32?
Yeah, bang
30?
on. 32?
A 32, yeah?
Wow. Now I know why you gamble, man. You're spot on with the numbers.
Well, I had to go from 40 to 30, then 32. So.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Ashish.
He must have lost a...
Wow, I think he's like
Oh,
shoved.
it
Oh,
could be
he's
all over
snap
here.
call.
You know the four of diamonds.
Oh, the king. Oh, two pair. And full house. Wow, Dirty does run like a god, man. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan right here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that's a cleanliness drive.
Remember when you were asking and you said, what do you think? And I said, well, he does run...
Oh, whoa, another one.
No.
Wait. Are we
The
gonna
thing
see
is, this is where players get carried away. This really isn't a shove.
It's
This
just a
isn't
flat.
shove.
Maximum a flat.
Yeah. Because also you do...
No, you're right. He just...
Two of clubs.
No,
I call it one
you
time,
called
two
it.
of
All right.
clubs.
No, not every time.
There we go.
Not every time. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think you should have shoved it.
Ashish Ahuja ships it. Good game, Ashish. Good game. I think Dhaval got a little carried away with the twos there. Don't you think so, Sam?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a bit... it is heads up, and I know that the Wizards, again, always say, oh, yeah, pair's good, whatever, but... you have to have you have to have respect that some people will have a hand. It doesn't have to be a bigger pair, but yeah.
We were just talking about the small pairs before this.
Yeah,
with
I tend to want to find a stronger spot, especially in the ICM spots. I don't like flipping the money in, but yeah, great game. Deval, another great comeback, so he'll be happy with that, picking up 15 points. So.
Yep, we're going to do a quick recap. So the first position was Ashish Ahuja for the Chennai Troopers. Second was Dhaval Mudgal for the Goa Nuts. And the third position was taken by Sean Conroy, Rajat Sharma. For the third position, I believe the Deccan Aces would be leading the leaderboard.
Yes, they will be. They have 36 points, right?
Yep. All right. So, Sam, thank you for being with us for these two games. It's been a long day, an exciting day. Great action on both the tables. And we're going to be wrapping up right now, getting some highlights for you in as well. And so Ashish Ahuja and Smita Agarwal, the winners for the day. All right.
Congrats.
All right. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for joining us. We had a good live wire chat going in. This is Sam and me, Raj Juneja, signing off.